How's it going out there? Welcome to Enteritus's first voiceover slideshow. Back on May of 2026, we went out and did one of Scuba Educator International's new full face mask course. But because we had a little extra time in the training area, some extra air, and because we only needed the 2 training dives for her to execute all skills to standards, we had 1 extra student dive available. So we decided to have a fun dive, pulled out the camera. With the exception of photographs taken of Angela, all photo credit to Angela Dial Roth, Instagram at SurfAddict78, Facebook Angela D. Denham. And here, of course, because Angela's such a great photographer, she got a perfectly centered, well-lit, well-focused selfie of both of us, both training on the Ocean Technology Systems Guardian full face mask. And you can see that we have swapped regulators. This is because she liked the way I keep mine set a little better than the way I keep the extra one set. No worries, easy to swap. You see quick disconnects on both, unplug, replug, good to go. You can also see that we have little frames on the sides of our masks. Those are for camera and light mounts. Some days I'll go in if I got to go someplace that I'm going to be down for a while. Maybe I'll wear both. There's plenty of redundancy. Ensures I'm not going to be without a light because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. And this is kind of the place we were playing in. This is the mid water column, middle depth ring for the buoyancy control test during the Spring Lake Dive Authorization course. This is a PADI specialty that you can get only at the Meadow Center for Water and the Environment. You must, amongst other skills, demonstrate that you have good control of your buoyancy, because when you're out in the rest of the lake doing the gardening, what you're not allowed to do is break the surface short of an emergency. The reason for this is for diver safety. This is to ensure that you don't get hit by the boat traffic that is also out there operating over you while you, as a Spring Lake Aqua Corps volunteer, are down on the bottom, weeding, opening up the springs again, fanning out the algae, or whatever it is that they have tasked you to do that day. Here we have, on the left, we have Angela getting ready to make her run through the lower ring, accompanied by this bass that just stayed with us. Old guy, big dude, kind of gray. There's very little bluing in this water because it's just that clear. We didn't need a filter. There she is, making her run through the ring, pointing at the fish that's just ahead of her. And again, it's that giant bass, but this time she's behind him. She makes her way through the ring. Everything's smooth, controlled. She's done it. Didn't hit the sides, nothing. Here she's coming around. This shell used to be part of mermaid shows back when Aquarina Springs was an amusement park. They would have the mermaids come out, and it's just like you would see down in Florida in the 60s and 70s. They would make sure they stayed aired up by drinking from or sipping air from the hoses that were cunningly hidden around the stage. They would drink Cokes underwater. I hear it was a cool thing, but it stopped in like the mid 90s, and all I can see now are still photos. But nonetheless, here's Angela. She's happy. She's underwater. That's just her yay pose. Here is a blurry shaka that I took because I couldn't get the camera under control. But I'm leaving this in because, again, she's happy. Shaka brah. And I gave the camera back to her, and it was my turn to do a little modeling for her. So here's me showing off my instructor skills by not only going through the system, or through the ring, but also making sure that I execute a barrel roll while I do it with my one unsecured spare hose for dry suits or inflations just hanging there in the breeze. I'll tuck that in on later dives. Here I am celebrating. You can see on my right shoulder there my USMC approved crayon patch. here's just a nice general photograph that she took of me. And here's a good one of me, because always the backlit photographs, they always look cool. After a little backlighting, decided to play with the fish some. Kind of settled down, stayed mostly neutral, just gently descended, touched fin tip to bottom as a reference point. And messed up the bottom a little bit. You can see the fish here swarming me because these fish know when there's divers in the water and they get close to the bottom, they are going to stir up the sediment, which is going to stir up food. So for that guy, I don't know where he's going. I'm just kind of yelling at him. Here's me testing some of the algae, seeing how hard that is to pull off. If it was going to be easy, I'd have probably taken a bit more, but I didn't want to mess up the viz for my student. I'm there to teach, not there to do underwater gardening work. And there's me. I'm done. Like, yeah. Wipe the crud off my hands and carry on. There I am. Get ready to take off again. And of course, here's a nice picture of me just suspended in the water column about 5 feet off the bottom. You can see the training area boundary rope underneath my left fin, as well as my do not pet morale patch on my left shoulder. There's another close-up of that. A good picture of me that's probably going to go up on some of our other social media because, come on, look at that. That's just perfectly focused, crystal clear. Yeah, that one needs to be seen. Here's another picture of just the environment. You can see we're pretty far away from everything, and the water, even when it was cloudy, is just beautiful. Here's some of the fish. There's a lot of these sunfish running around in the lake. Here's the bass, another big predator. The only thing we couldn't find that day was one of the gar. I was really hoping to find him. We had the lake to ourselves. We looked around. He just didn't show. Here's a little size comparison for the tiny little sunfish versus the bass. That arch you see in the background, by the way, that is called diversion. The main spring flows up through that pipe, and then the water is redirected down into the training area, and it kind of keeps a little section under it clear. One of our earlier videos that we posted actually was shot under that diversion tube. Here's another close-up of some of the fish down at the bottom, just looking around, looking for their food. So I hope you enjoyed this little slideshow, just kind of show you what some of the environment we use for training looks like. If you'd like training, please consider Enteritus. It's training when you want it, where you want it. Like and subscribe to stay up to date on what we're doing. You can also catch us on Instagram at Enteritus Training or Facebook at Enteritus LLC. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there.